So hi guys and welcome back to my Team Career Mode 2.0 Season 2, and here we are for the Brazilian GP. But before that, if you haven't watched last video in USA, it was an amazing race. We drove as Jack Crawford, and if you can see the point difference from the last race to this one, you know that Jack Crawford was able to win the USGP. It was an amazing race. We held our own for a very long time in P1, and obviously we had a little bit problem, I don't know what. And Lewis Hamilton, we just saw Lewis Hamilton retiring after this season. What? Lewis Hamilton, who did a little bit of a 2-year stint in the Ferrari, is now have decided to retire. I am stunned honestly, because Ferrari actually is doing good, though Hamilton is having big problems, which honestly makes sense why he's retiring. But here, let's just see guys, Carlos Sainz end game talks. Let's see if he agrees to a little bit less on the contract. If he doesn't, it might get a little difficult. So signing bonus still 3.62, and obviously performance clause has been removed, and the salary has been reduced by 5%, and chance of success has been increased by 10%. Obviously the problem is that 3.62 million is something we do not have currently, so we will have to save that money and then we can do it. Obviously we have some time to do that, obviously, because we are going to get 2 base incomes in this week, means 2 weeks will be passed here. But before that, let's just go into the upgrades. Obviously we had a 3D prototype which actually helped us, and we have a fuel efficiency upgrade failed, so we did a little bit of a 3D printing obviously facility upgrade, which actually helped us in the research. So that has been done, which means our research have now 25% earlier on the research department. So we now had a secondary sponsor, so that means we will have to do that too. But first of all, let's just go into the upgrades and see if we can upgrade anything. And the only thing we can upgrade is a weight reduction upgrade, that too a major though. So we have bought it. Obviously guys, in the USGP we saw that we have a little bit problem in turning our car, which gets annoying. So from 1.01 million to 1.15 million is what we got after all the slots we did, because we were able to get ourselves to 5th fan rating in the last race after winning the race. Obviously we have just sent a contract to Yuki Tsunoda. Let's see if he signs. Obviously Carlos Sainz, we do not have the money for him, and Yuki Tsunoda has accepted our contract. That is big. Obviously guys, he won the race in Bahrain, which obviously we were the one driving as, but it was an amazing, and we have failed both the hydraulics upgrade. What? That is annoying. So we have 2.39 million with us, so we have to now spend 3. What the hell? Wasn't it 2 point something million when I saw it last time with Carlos Sainz? Why is he so expensive? And this is the reason guys, Carlos Sainz is right now 92 rated, and he after everything is 93 rated. Well, after all the upgrades you get from it, so we are not going to get that this race. So let's upgrade something, get this engineering to phase 3 guys. That will be helpful. Obviously we are doing everything we can, obviously focusing on the department focus, that will also be helpful. So we have done everything. We have signed Yuki Tsunoda too. So guys, let's just dive as Yuki Tsunoda.
It's a Saturday showdown. Anyone fancy some hot laps around Interlagos? It's qualifying day here for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
So here we are in the sprint qualifying for the Brazilian GP. So let's just see what we can do. Obviously jack the adjustment with the fastest lap on the lap, well, on the grid right now. But obviously other people have not done, because if you see at the track map, many drivers are now starting their lap, so we are a little bit early. That is a good news. Obviously guys, if you can see the bottom right hand corner, is that the problem we are facing is that our engine deployment or engine storage is around 70% worn out, so we are using that for the sprint race. It will be very difficult to do anything in this race, but let's see what we can do with a 1:10.0 all right lap. But I think, yep, we will have to go out again. So with a 4-second lap, well, 4 seconds left is what we were able to do, and Lawson, after making a mistake, just stopped on the track. That is annoying guys. Obviously he did not just ruin our lap, that was a Mercedes lap that has been ruined, and we have other cars behind me, and obviously we are trying to run away from these, and there are 3 cars behind me. That was Crawford, Doohan and someone behind, and that looks like that was a McLaren whose wing was destroyed, because obviously, well, Liam Lawson did not give way, and it was actually Lando Norris. That is annoying. And obviously Oliver Bearman is out, Jack Doohan, Liam Lawson, Pepe Marti and Gabriel Bortoletto. That honestly makes sense. So let's see what we can do again in the sprint race. Honestly guys, what an annoying one the sprint qualifying was. Obviously Liam Lawson, he locked up in turn 1 and then decided to cut across the track on the racing line while I was doing a lap. So obviously guys, I thought that he will get out of the way or I will be able to squeeze past him, but obviously there isn't that much space in the Senna S's. But let's just go, because we are at least through into SQ2. So here we are with a purple first sector. Let's see what more we can do. Obviously second sector is really important, and we have a little bit extra front wing and rear wing for that. So let's see, green second sector, that is good. Let's use every bit of battery we have. Open the DRS. So 191 and 189 for Lando Norris, and he goes P1, but we go with a 193 into P3, and we were lucky enough to get ourselves into SQ3 because we were 3 tons slower from our last lap. Obviously Jack Crawford was nowhere, and Lewis Hamilton is out of SQ2. That is honestly a little bit shocking. But the good news is guys for us is that Carlos Sainz is also out of SQ2, which means that Williams might not be able to score that much. Obviously they are closer to us than we are closer to, well, McLaren, so it will be a little difficult to do anything there. But right now we are doing good, and let's just see with a one and only lap. Well, obviously I will try to do another lap after this if we can. Let's see what we can do on these soft tires with a purple first sector. Second sector might be green or purple. Let's just see, and it is green. So let's just go into the final proper corner on this track. Obviously guys, we do not have ERS. Well, we are 78% to 84% is what we get at the start of the lap. So we have very deficient in the ERS department, and because of that we only go 191. So we are going out again. I did not even stop to look where we were because I know we are last. Let's just go out again. We need to do a good lap here, and we are out. Obviously let's take the control of the car first of all, and we have done that, but we only have 5 seconds remaining now, and obviously we won't be able to do another lap, and we are out. And let's see where we end up. We end up P8. So not the worst place to be, because if you can get at least 2-3 position at the start, that will be good. But Charles Leclerc is the one who gets sprint pole with Max Verstappen into P2, and Ayrton Senna, guys, he is just crazy. So let's just go into the race.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the two DRS zones will be key to any overtaking prospects today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Senna, Piastri, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Webber, Russell, Tsunoda, Meyer, and Carlos Sainz, Gasly, Albon, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Norris, Hulkenberg, Crawford, Ollie Behrman, and Jack Doohan, Stroll, Pepe Marti, Lawson, and Gabriel Bortoleto rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comment, Anthony Davidson. Hello. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Interlagos, always one of my favourite weekends of the season. Love Brazil, adore this track.
Absolutely spot on, Crofty. I wish you could pick this circuit up and place it, copy-paste it on multiple different locations around the planet, because it is sensational to watch, sensational to drive, and for all these drivers here in Brazil, it's a great time to get stuck into this Interlagos circuit. It's an anti-clockwise track, lots of important corners to get right, and it's a track where you can make or lose an awful lot of lap time.
Okay, mate, radio check, please, radio check.
Cool.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Okay, so we definitely know what to do, but obviously guys, Ayrton Senna, I think he's leading by 20-25 points in front of George Russell. So obviously he is going to win the championship, but let's see what we can do with 3, 4, 5 lights. And we are a go for the sprint race in Sao Paulo. There goes Senna getting an amazing start, but Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc will try to do, but Charles Leclerc has been swallowed up by Ayrton Senna and Max Verstappen, and he is now fighting for P4, and there we are behind them. Obviously, let's see what a start we got. Webber, well, Webber and George Russell did not have any place to go, and we now went into turn 1 in front of, well, Antonelli there, but he will come back, but we have the battery to use, and we are going to use that as much as we can, and now that is good. We are through, and let's just see how long we can stay here. And there is Charles Leclerc and Piastri still fighting with each other, Ayrton Senna and Max Verstappen also, but Max Verstappen has finally overtaken Ayrton Senna. But Ayrton Senna, guys, we know that he has the pace, and his car Red Bull is getting good, and into turn 6 through the inside of Charles Leclerc we go. He will not let that pass that easily. He will come back, but we through the inside, and we get an amazing exit there, breaking it early and cutting across Charles Leclerc so that he does not get a good start, and we have now stayed into P4. Obviously guys, Charles Leclerc started on mediums, and Ayrton Senna and Max Verstappen are on soft tires, so that's why they weren't able to do much. Obviously that's why we were able to overtake Charles Leclerc, but Piastri still have the pace. So lap 3 starting, obviously nothing happened in lap 2 and lap 3, so where we are on lap 4. Obviously, well, it is getting difficult for us guys, because these soft tires will wear out very quickly, and Charles Leclerc's medium tires are getting better and better. But obviously guys, we have enough experience to stay in front of Charles Leclerc and defend against these guys. So Antonelli is also in P6, and we are starting to form a train behind us, which honestly guys, we don't really mind. So let's just see how long we can defend against Charles Leclerc, who will now attack us at the start of lap 6, and here he comes without a front end plate, and we go through the inside, stayed in front, but he will come back through the Senna assist, but we still have the pace and have the car to stay in front. But this time he will get the second dose of DRS. Obviously we still have the pace and the time to stay in front of Charles Leclerc, but obviously we won't be able to do that for long. But we have to do it, guys, because these points will be very crucial for us to catch up to McLaren. But here goes Mark Webber this time and cutting across us. First problem, but there is another one. Another contact with Mark Webber. Look at that. I think he also got a little bit wheel spin there, and because of that he wasn't able to do much, and we were thrown across the track. But still, it doesn't matter, guys, because we have the battery and the DRS, and we were able to overtake him. But here is people behind us, which is Antonelli, who has taken that and has overtaken Mark Webber, and George Russell has also overtaken Mark Webber. So let's see how long we can defend against these guys who are on a much better car, where Antonelli isn't, but Russell is in a much better car. So let's just see how long we can defend. So at the end of lap 8, starting lap 9, 4 laps to go, and here comes Antonelli. But obviously, guys, these kinds of half-hearted dives are not going to work on us, so we can stay in front, and George Russell will try to do something, but obviously he won't be able to do much, because even with the help of DRS now, which he has, he will try to go side by side with us. But into turn 4 we have the braking here, knocked down, and we have stayed in front. But George Russell the opportunistic move there, and have overtaken Antonelli, and here we have to now stay in front, and we go wide into turn 5, and that is the good thing for George Russell, because he has overtaken us. But into turn 6 we have not let George Russell by, but guys, the pace and the grip is favoring George Russell, so we can't do much. Obviously it's because, guys, they have much better tire wear, but obviously we are going and getting there with the tire wear upgrade for us. So let's see what we can do out of the main final corner. Now we are out of DRS already, and Antonelli will try to attack us, but we still are using every bit of battery we have. So with 3 laps to go now, Antonelli will attack us, but we through the inside of turn 1, taking it easy, still fighting with Antonelli there, and we have stayed in front. But the tires are already orange, and look at that, sliding everywhere, going on to the curb, so much so that we can't really do anything about it, because obviously, guys, we are losing grip. We have no grip now. I feel like we are driving on ice, obviously, but the only good thing for us is that we still have the brakings. That is the only thing that is helping me. So at the end of lap 11, the final lap starting after this, obviously we were able to defend for 1 lap, because I think Antonelli and Webber were fighting with each other, so they did not attack us. But here we are at almost the final lap here, and if we can defend twice on this, we will back that P5. But here comes Mark Webber through the inside, but we crashes in between both the drivers, and we are still fighting with Mark Webber taking out our front wing. And look at that, guys, our front wing has been lobbed off, the end plate is gone, but still with 79%, where on the rear right we have overtaken Mark Webber, and we even got the DRS. That is big. Let's just see how long we can stay. Obviously now the only part is to race to the line at the last lap. But still, guys, here goes Ayrton Senna, who overtook Max Verstappen and now has won the sprint race in Sao Paulo. Max Verstappen into P3, and 7 seconds behind was Oscar Piastri. So one of the McLaren actually were able to score more points than us, so that is annoying, guys. And George Russell is also 12 seconds behind. And if you are thinking what am I doing, is because if you see on the bottom right hand side, our fuel is done, and we have to now use every bit of battery and everything we can do. Antonelli was able to overtake us, but that was also a tactic, guys, because now we get the DRS, that will be helpful, and low fuel mode. But still we were able to get ourselves at least into P6, not losing a position to Mark Webber, because I think he was behind us and was slowed down by us getting on the low fuel mode. So that is a good thing for us. At least we scored 6 points. And guys, I think 1.1, 1.2 laps worth of fuel extra is what I had when started this race. So this is really annoying, but honestly we can't do anything about it. Let's just go into the qualifying for the main race. But guys, before that I am going to take some penalties, and we have done a new energy store, and I was thinking an new ICE will also look good because we have some big races coming up.
It's a Saturday showdown. Anyone fancy some hot laps around Interlagos? It's qualifying day here for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
So here we are in the qualifying for the main race. We have taken a 20 place grid drop. That isn't too crazy, but let's see what we can do on this lap. Obviously this is more or less not really an important thing to do, but the reason guys I am doing a qualifying is so that we can get our eye through and see how much pace we has, because obviously after doing the sprint race you kind of lose focus on how much you can push on any corners, because obviously you are saving your tire and everything. Because of that you do not able to push 100%. So the sprint race is for me a little bit of a practice so that we can push at the start of the race, because we will need that when we have to overtake these guys. So we go 190, that is a good lap, and we were in P2 at the end, so it doesn't matter. I thought, you know what, since we have 3 more soft tires, let's do one more run, let's get that practice through, and if we can do a good lap, that is also good. So we are here again in Q2 using every bit of battery, and obviously at the end still have the same battery. And guys, the crazy thing is now is that even in hot lap mode I actually gain ERS, because obviously it's a brand new one, brand new energy store, which is amazing. So let's just use every bit of battery, and we got a corner cutting, but it doesn't matter. With a 192, that was a good lap, but it doesn't matter guys. But Max Verstappen is out into P11 and Lando is into P12. So is Max Verstappen also taking a penalty because he did not do another lap? I think that might be the case, because why wouldn't you do that? I mean, okay, but it doesn't matter. So let's just see into the Q3, and here is Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz got P1. My goodness, for the main race. That is going to be annoying because Williams is our competitor with Ayrton Senna into P2, so Ayrton Senna will overtake him, and Charles Leclerc into P3, P5 for Oscar Piastri. We need to something do about that, and we are into P10. So at that time guys, I thought, you know what, why not take more penalties, because if we can, that is right now. So we have taken another turbocharger, and this is obviously because guys there is Las Vegas coming and then Qatar too. So let's just go into the race.
Welcome along then to where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the very final corner. And just 1 year later, Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's time then for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. We're racing today then at Interlagos, a historic 2.7 mile circuit and one of the few anti-clockwise tracks on the calendar. 15 corners in total, 9 to the left and 6 to the right, with a technical middle section opening up to a flat-out Sector 3. That gives us our best passing opportunity down into Turn 1. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and it's Ayrton Senna alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Mayer, Oscar Piastri and Russell, Antonelli, Webber, Hamilton and Lando Norris, Gasly, Albon, Pepe Marti and Crawford, Behrman, Stroll, Nico Hulkenberg and Liam Lawson, Doohan, Verstappen, Bortoletto, and Yuki Tsunoda rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comment, Anthony Davidson. Hello. Interlagos, always one of my favourite weekends of the season. Love Brazil, adore this track.
Absolutely spot on, Crofty. I wish you could pick this circuit up and place it, copy-paste it on multiple different locations around the planet, because it is sensational to watch, sensational to drive. And for all these drivers here in Brazil, it's a great time to get stuck into this Interlagos circuit. It's an anti-clockwise track, lots of important corners to get right, and it's a track where you can make or lose an awful lot of lap time.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, let's try not to worry about being down here at the back. You've got the speed, you've got the car, so just take it easy and the race will come to you.
And let's just see what we can do. Obviously the personalized strategy says to do a 2-stop, and guys, I am intending to do a 2-stop, but I am going to start on medium tires. So with 3, 4, 5 lights, we are go for the Sao Paulo GP with Sainz and Ayrton Senna starting really good, and Charles Leclerc trying to overtake Ayrton Senna, but he has stayed in front. And there is Calimere and Piastri fighting with each other. Russell and Antonelli is also going side by side. Look at, there is 2 wide everywhere. Hamilton, Albon also fighting with each other, going side by side. And here we are. Let's see how amazing of a start we got, because we, after starting first part, didn't really go that good, but through the inside of almost half the grid, we have stayed in front and overtaking Mark Webber, not Mark Webber, but Lance Stroll and Oliver Behrman. We have now overtaken and gone into P15. But the thing is, guys, it's only P15. We still need to overtake. So Pepe Marti, these guys are very close because someone is fighting, and we, through the inside of Pepe Marti, just had the grip. And because we were a little bit behind, we have the space. So here we are now going a little bit wide through the inside of 2 cars. That was Gasly and Crawford, but Gasly will still fight us a little bit. But guys, we have the grip, we have the tires, and we have done it. Obviously through the inside of Lando Norris too. We have not stopped. We are not stopping. We need to gain as many positions as we can, guys, because we do not have the pace to attack the top guys. So if we can get some more position, that will be good, because points is something on cards here, because we are now in P11 just at the end of lap 1. We have gained 11 position and Carlos Sainz still leads it. But here let's just see what we can do, and into the inside of Albon, try to do something, but obviously, guys, almost lopped off our front wing. The good news is it didn't. So let's just see, can we go through the inside of Alexander Albon, and we have overtaken him. So we are now into the points in just 2 laps. And obviously on lap 2 I only did 1 overtake. So now our goal is Hamilton, Mark Webber. Obviously if you see on the track map, which is on the bottom left hand side, you can see there's a gap emerging between Mark Webber and Hamilton, and then others in front. And here lap 4 starting, there goes Ayrton Senna trying to attack Carlos Sainz, and Carlos Sainz can't do much because he does not have the pace, enough pace to attack Senna, and Senna has taken the race lead, which is the new normal right now. So here we are with Hamilton trying to attack with the DRS. He has the DRS, but into turn 1, we through the S's, getting a little bit wheel spin there, but that doesn't matter. We have overtaken Hamilton, and guys, the reason I'm getting this much wheel spin is because I went way too high on the front wing, because I was getting way too much understeer, because we do not have the front grip and the front downforce needed. So we need to buy that in the research department as soon as we can. So Mark Webber, obviously, guys, the dirty air is actually, even on keyboard I can feel the dirty air. That's how difficult it is to drive behind a car this close, but still we can do it. Obviously, guys, the problem is we are 4 laps over fueled, and after the race I saw that it was a huge blunder because of me, because we could have just done 3.2 laps extra fuel, that would have been enough, but we are carrying a lap worth of extra fuel. But that doesn't matter now, because on lap 6 we have the DRS, we have the ERS, and into the inside of Mark Webber through the Senna S is again getting a wheel spin, but that is not going to stop us from overtaking Mark Webber, and we have done that very beautifully. So at the end of lap 8 guys, now the goal for us to take these tires to lap 12, lap 13, and then pit on to a set of, well, soft tires should be the one, but I'm going to pit on hards guys. Then we will do 14 laps on those hard tires, then we will go at the end for 10 lap sprint on the soft tires. But here we go, Mark Webber trying to attack us, but we still have the pace on these medium tires, though they are feeling very second hand now. We have stayed in front, we still have the battery and the DRS, well, not the DRS at least, but Mark Webber will try to attack us, but into the inside of turn 4 Mark Webber can't do anything because we have the racing line and we have the braking, so we have stayed in front. So we need to pit at the end of lap 11 or at the end of lap 12. We can decide that when we are, well, going on to that time, but right now 47% on the rear left is getting a little bit worse. So at the end of lap 12, which now went to 63%, 64% now at the final lap here guys, because we are definitely pitting now. There is no reason for us to go on these tires, because this is now catching us to the puncture region. Obviously we will get a little bit of an undercut on the people in front of us, which was Antonelli and George Russell, and I think even Oscar Piastri was also in front. And if you see on the map, you can see guys the gap between the drivers, because if you see that red dot, that is Hamilton, and the cars in front is, I think that is one of the McLarens. So McLaren, then George and Antonelli, so these three are so far in front, and the top 4 are also on a different league. So we need to catch up to at least and go in front of Antonelli and George Russell. Let's see if we can do it. But first of all, with 6.5 seconds gap to Bortoleto, we need to catch up to him and overtake him very quickly. So let's just use all the grip on these hard tires to catch up to Bortoleto. And at the start of lap 15, we have caught up to Bortoleto, though we are a little bit behind, but we were catching up by I think 2.5 seconds per lap. That's why in just 2 laps time we have caught up to Bortoleto, and this is going to give us an amazing undercut on the people in front. So let's just stay behind him. Obviously Bortoleto was one of the drivers I really wanted to sign in the last season, but now we are going for some big fish drivers. But here we go through the inside of Gabriel Bortoleto, and we have overtaken him. Obviously his medium tires must be feeling very second hand. And obviously guys, Bortoleto, if you don't know, in the last race was technically the reason we were able to win the race. If you don't know, you can check that one out. But here we on lap 16, starting lap 17, Lawson has been overtaken. Not too difficult to overtake him. Obviously it makes sense guys, he is on 17 laps old mediums and no one wants to stay on those tires. So next target is Jack Doohan and Hulkenberg. Let's see, can we attack them? But here let's just try to use every bit of battery we are using to catch up to them. Obviously it's a big train now and we will start to lose a little bit time, so we need to overtake them very quickly. And we went through the inside of Jack Doohan very quickly, because I know that we need to do something. Obviously we have a strategy which is gone now and it has come back. Obviously it doesn't make sense to me, but we are using everything and the strategy has been changed, and there is no strategy, but it doesn't matter to us because we are trying to overtake Hulkenberg. Every bit matters guys, and look at that, every person is into the pits. George Russell, Pepe Marti, Antonelli, Behrman is also into the pits. But here we are trying to overtake Max Verstappen, who is stuck way down the order. We have now overtaken Jack Crawford, who was overtaken by Max Verstappen, but we have the DRS on the second part of the straight. We have the new engine components, and through the inside of turn 4 We have overtaken Max Verstappen. Look at that. He went on to defend that position, but we were able to overtake him. But the problem for us, guys, is that Antonelli. Again, look at that, guys. Strategy. I do not understand what the hell was happening in the strategy, but it doesn't matter because look at that, guys. Antonelli and George Russell has overtaken us. But obviously that is not the worst part because we can catch up to them. Because guys, let me tell you one thing, these hard tires were feeling like I had all the grip on the racing track where I was pushing. These tires were taking and saying yes, we can use that tire, we can use that grip, we have that grip. Honestly, such an amazing tire where I was feeling on these tires. So that's why lap 22, look at that, guys, we have caught up to these guys. We are now in the DRS of these guys. But the problem is, guys, I am not able to attack them, but I can stay in the DRS, but we can't attack them. Obviously the problem is our tires are now 10 laps old, so and their tires are obviously 4 to 5 laps old only. So we are finding it a little difficult, but obviously we can do something with Piastri and Lando Norris behind us. So that is big, obviously, because these guys were helping me stay in front of both the McLarens, and that is honestly the goal for us. Because if we can score even the position we are in, P7, we will be very happy. So lap 27, this was the lap I had to pit. Well, a lap earlier is what I had to pit. But guys, you know what, I thought we have the tires, guys, 20% till 70%, we can take them. Well, 10 more laps, we have already taken them 14 laps in, so we are going to do that. But the thing is, guys, now I am not going to stay with Antonelli and George Russell, because if I did that, obviously we can't really do that with the grip we have on these tires now. But if I try to do that, I will slide on these hard tires way too much, and that will cost us way too much percentage on the tire wear. So we are going to stay behind a little bit. We are going to push enough to stay in front of Oscar Piastri, who is now attacking us, because on lap 31 our tires are getting near the puncture region. But obviously, guys, we still have enough grip on the other 3 tires we are using, and let's just use as much as we can. Obviously, still lap 31, we still have enough of a pace and enough of a distance advantage to Piastri that he wasn't able to attack us too much. But at the end of lap 31, starting lap 32 is now Piastri's hard tires are getting better, because McLaren's tire wear is something they have the best. So we have to do something about that. But here Oscar Piastri is still getting defended by us, and here he goes through the inside. We defended very aggressively, but he tried to go for it. But we, around the outside of turn 4, have overtaken Oscar Piastri. So we are now, guys, if you see on the ERS, we are saving it very quickly. It's because I'm on non-ERS, because I decided that if I really want to stay in front of these guys, I have to go on non-ERS, otherwise we are not going to get through the 4 laps we have left. So here at the end of lap 33, starting lap 34, Piastri was overtaken by Gasly because we were way too slow, and he goes through turn 1 and he went into the side pod for us. But we are not going to let him by, guys, because we are known for getting all kind of argy-bargy here and there. But we are now losing all the battery we have. Piastri can't do anything, but Pierre Gasly might try, but we very tactfully stayed in the middle of the track. Because of that, none of the drivers were able to attack me. So at the end of lap 35, we are now going to start our final lap with 45% battery is all we have. But the thing is, guys, we have all new parts in the back of this car. Though the tire wear has gone way too much, we can still do something with 80% rear right. We have to fight on these cars, and we are now, look at that, guys, in front it is Russell and Antonelli who are 14 seconds in front. Gasly, Piastri and Lando Norris, all 3 have caught up to us, and we are going to defend as much as we can. And through the inside of Piastri, he tried for it, but we will defend as much as we can. We are not going to let this by, and we have stayed in front And with that, we have consolidated our position in P7. But guys, amazing race for Ayrton Senna, who was able to win the Sao Paulo GP with, well, Sainz, who got P3, which was a best race finish, I think, for Williams, and Charles Leclerc into P3, who was just a little bit behind. But here we are in P7, guys. After a very long while, I had so much fun in racing, guys, because obviously for defending for a whole race, it's no fun, but to fight and go in front, fight as long as we can, we had so much from P22 to P27. What an amazing race. And obviously driver of the day will go to us, which is not a big thing, but honestly guys, what an amazing race. Let's just go for the podium celebration.
Is an emotional moment as the crowd rise once more to congratulate your winner, Ayrton Senna.
Taking victory at their home circuit as well. What a place to do it. The fans are loving it. They're lapping it up. They have been all weekend long, and they have delivered what the fans wanted to see.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
Obviously, Sainz and Ayrton Senna and Charles Leclerc, these guys did take the podium, but guys, we had the most fun in this race. 15 positions we got, and honestly, with a crazy strategy, 24 laps on the hard tires. That was crazy. Honestly guys, I had not felt that amazing on a set of hard tires. Well, on a set of any tires. It was such an amazing race. We had so much fun. Max Verstappen only in P14, and even the McLarens only get 3 points. That is big for us. So guys, if you're enjoying these videos and us catching up to McLaren, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys for the next one.